So let's start with the bad news first. There is no HDR support and no ray tracing support in Banishers. But the question here is, would a game be better with a proper HDR support or with having ray tracing on board? And in my opinion, the answer is a very clear yes, at least from a technical point of view. When we're talking about visual quality and stuff like that, then a proper HDR support or having ray tracing effects in a game would make the game better. But when we're now focusing on story, when we're now focusing on gameplay, then no, we don't need HDR support. And when we're focusing on performance, no, we don't need ray tracing support in a game. But, and that's again a very big but, in 2024 we should have the option to enable HDR and we should have the option to enable ray tracing. Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. So let's stop complaining and let's start focusing on this great game. And with great game I mean really this game, because I was very surprised. This one is another title I would most likely never play if I wouldn't have received so much support from Focus Entertainment. And therefore I like to say thank you very much Focus Entertainment for providing me with review keys for the PlayStation 5, Xbox and PC version. And I hope that you understand that I can't play the whole game on 3 different platforms because unfortunately there is no cross-save game support. So again, please keep in mind that in my tech review here I focused on the early game because I just don't have time to play 3 versions of the game, PlayStation 5, Xbox and PC, for several hours. On the consoles you have 2 options to play the game, in a 60 FPS performance mode and in a 30 FPS fidelity mode. And if you watch my channel on a regular basis, then you know that I don't like 30 FPS at all, and therefore there is no 30 FPS comparison in this video. I'm focusing on the 60 FPS performance mode and I'm comparing this performance mode with the PC version. But let's start first and let's take a closer look on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox version in the 60 FPS performance mode. And yeah, as far as I can tell, there is hardly any difference. If you can spot any difference, just put this in the comment section. It's getting a little bit more interesting when we now comparing the PC version with the console version, and in this case I took the Xbox version for the comparison because, again, in my opinion, between PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X there is no difference. And to compare the Xbox version or the console version with the PC version, I use the following settings. I choose a 4K resolution with DLSS quality enabled and all the graphical details maxed out. And to be very honest, I was expecting a little bit more. In regards of the resolution, there's actually not much of a difference. Just when we're focusing a little bit closer, then you can see there is an advantage on the PC version. The biggest significant difference actually is in regards of how clean the picture looks like on a PC. The console version has a lot of shimmering, especially in the further details or very fine details. The PC version, on the other hand, is very clean. So now let's start talking about performance, and let's start with the console version, PlayStation 5 versus Xbox Series X. And I like to remind you again that I just tested the early beginning of the game, and what I found is that the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X version are suffering from frame drops. The good news here is that if you enable VRR on your console on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series, then the frame drops are not bothering you anymore. At least what I found on my LG G2. As soon as I enabled VRR, the game was running very smooth. And the next thing is, when I played a little bit further, then I found that the performance on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X was suddenly much better. But we need to keep in mind that this is not really an open world game, and you have some sort of level system, and I just actually experienced very big frame drops in the first city. So later on the frame rate was actually quite okay. Again, almost perfect 60 FPS all the time. But that doesn't mean that when we come to different locations and maybe a different city or bigger cities, that we don't have issues with the frame rate again. And now let's talk about the PC version, and I played this game on my AMD 7950X3D in combination with a 4080. And what I found is that even I locked the PC version to fixed 60 FPS, I had a lot of stuttering, sometimes minor stuttering, sometimes very heavy stuttering. And at this very moment I can't tell you what is causing the stutters, but I have the feeling it has to do with loading assets, loading the game in general. And I like to be very honest with you, if you're now asking me which platform I would recommend to play the game on, then I would say actually get this game on the console, because I haven't had so much issues on the console. So again, my PC version stuttered from time to time. It was sometimes a little bit annoying, sometimes it was okay, but I haven't had this much of an issue with the console version. But, and that's a very big but, we need to understand that I'm playing the game before it was released, and there will be a day one patch. So that means maybe some of the issues what I experienced in regards of performance will be solved with the day one patch. Okay, my friends, so that's it for this video. And yeah, even the game does not support HDR and we have no ray tracing support. I had a lot of fun playing this game because it does look fantastic. The setting of the game is exactly what I like. And before I end this video here, I like to mention how great the music is, how great the sound effects are in this game. I tested most of the time the game without any sound, because that's how I tested the game, and at some point I enabled actually my 5.1 digital surround system and I was just blown away. So again, highly recommended to play this game, and it really doesn't matter if you play this game on the PlayStation 5, Xbox or PC, it is a great experience. Have fun.